Hey guys.
Oh, I said that wrong. I said hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey y'all. It's Stephanie Andre here, and today I have my sister
Shelly
with me, and we're going to talk about big chopping versus transitioning because she did big chop twice. And why?
I just said that already.
Those in different videos. Everybody doesn't watch the same videos.
The first time was to get rid of relaxed ends, and the second time was to get rid of bad color damage.
And I transitioned one time to get rid of my relaxed hair, and then the second time was to get rid of color damage and some heat damage that I had. So, to get into this video of big chopping versus transitioning,
Pros and cons.
pros and cons. So, the first one on big chopping.
The first one was before I chopped, I grew it out. I transitioned for about 5 months before I finally got kind of fed up with it and decided to chop. But my biggest insecurity was wondering if it would look right. I had never had short hair, and I was like, well, is my head too big? Is it too long? You know, what happens if it doesn't look right? Because I knew once my hair was gone, it was no coming back from it. But once I cut it, to me, all those fears just went away literally as soon as I cut it, because you can get a really good idea of what you look like with a short haircut if you put your hair in a ponytail. And that's just what it was.
So, did you actually cut your hair, or did you go to a beautician?
I went to a beautician, and she knew I was nervous, and she was very patient with me, took her time and went through and let me watch her cut my hair. And the first thing I said when I saw my cut was, I still look like myself. You know, I thought I was going to look, I don't know what I thought, but I loved it. So.
And as far as transitioning, would it look right? That was never really an issue, because when I started transitioning, I was just like, well, I'll just keep doing what I've been doing and just not getting a relaxer. So that's not something that really was the issue for transitioners. So the next thing was bad hair days.
Yes, when you big chop your hair, you're forced to deal with your hair and learn what it takes to make your hair look right. Because guess what? If you have a bad hair day, you can't just slick your hair back and put it in a ponytail. I didn't own any wigs. I still don't. So I didn't have any alternative hairstyle other than my big chop. So then, there were mornings where I was late to work because I had to rewash my hair because, say, for instance, I had white buildup on a new product mix that I tried. So it really forces you to get in your hair and learn your hair.
And as far as bad hair days for transitioners, depending on how long your hair is while you're transitioning, when I had a bad hair day, I just used to slick it back in a ponytail, and it was never a huge deal for me during bad hair days, because we all get them. But I always used to think, like with short hair, whether it's relaxed or natural, whatever, when you have a bad hair day, what do? Because it's just like you're kind of stuck with it. As in, if you have longer hair, you can always do a low bun, high bun, ponytail, something like that, a halo braid, anything. And
the next thing is, when I big chopped my hair, I experienced a really big boost in my confidence. When people big chop and say they felt more beautiful than they ever felt, at first, before I actually did it, I thought that was like a really cliche saying. But once I cut my hair, I really did feel more beautiful than I ever felt, because it forced you to really accept you and your flaws and your facial structure. It really forces you to get to love and learn how to love yourself without the adornment of extra hair. So once you're able to do that, you're really able to see yourself as beautiful from within. And once that beauty shines out, there's really no stopping your confidence. Like, there was nothing anybody could really, tell me to knock my confidence down once I learned how to accept me from the inside out.
And as far as confidence, it didn't really do anything for me as far as transitioning, because I just looked the same. Yeah.
When I big chopped, I was able to wash it every day, and I loved it. I work out pretty often, and it was just really nice and refreshing to be able to run my hair underneath the water every day and co-wash or wash with shampoo and massage my scalp and do my hair. And it literally took 5 minutes from beginning to end. I would hop out the shower, blow it dry, put a combo of Eco Style and a moisturizer in it, and that was it. So I was able to do that every morning, and I completely loved it.
Yeah, so as far as a wash day with two textures, it's not always that simple. The detangling sessions could be longer, and you generally don't want to wash your hair every day because you don't want to go through that. Now, there was a point that I did used to wash my hair about every day, but that was the moment that I finally cut all my relaxed ends off. So I wasn't transitioning anymore. I wouldn't dare do that while transitioning. So, yeah, that's not something that you want to do in transition, or that I wanted to do. So she already mentioned you could do your hair within 5 minutes, but with transitioning hair, it takes longer because you're learning how to blend the two textures. So that's a learning curve. Like I used to get relaxers maybe every 2 to 3 times a year. So I was really used to dealing with my texture. I was used to dealing with two textures of hair, but everyone isn't like that. Some people are used to getting relaxers every 4 months. Every 4 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. So if you're not used to dealing with your own texture, that can be very difficult. And also finding styles to do with your hair can be a little difficult sometimes. Because as I stated, when I first started transitioning, I used to put just heat on my hair every week like I did when I was relaxed. But it was one summer where I decided that I wanted to not use any heat for the entire summer. So for 3 months, I didn't use any heat. I was still transitioning, so I had both textures of hair. So I was experimenting with braiding curls, twisting curls, rod sets. That's when I started liking rod sets because that was my first time. Because when I went natural, I didn't think I could do rod sets anymore. Like there was a point where I threw all of my rollers away because I just thought, oh, I can't do roller sets anymore. But yeah, but I would suggest a period of time, even if you're not transitioning but you just became natural, just give yourself a period of time where you're not going to put any heat on your hair and you have to learn your hair, because sometimes you have to be forced to learn how to deal with your hair. For those 3 months, it was hard. At some points it was hard. Like I don't know what to do with my hair. Like it was just times where I wanted to just pull out the flat irons, but I just had to stay disciplined and not using any heat, and that really helped me learn my hair. And also, even though we can't do our hair within 5 minutes, we tend to have more versatile styles depending on how long your transitioning hair is or how short your big chop is. Sometimes, depending on how short your big chop is, I know hers was really short, so she couldn't even do any braids, twists, anything like that. The only thing that she would have been able to do is a wig, and she wasn't into wearing wigs and still isn't. So I mean, no shade the wigs or anything, but that was why are you looking like that? No, because really no shade the wigs, but she just didn't have any. So. And depending on how short your hair is, you might not be able to do certain protective styles unless you have a wig or something. Shelly, why did you say that?
You gotta cut that out, Stephanie.
No, but it wasn't even meant to be like that. Okay, whatever. Shit. So yeah, even though we couldn't do our hair in 5 minutes flat, we tend to have more versatile styles to choose from. So we could do braiding curls, twisting curls, rod sets, anything like that. Depending on the length of your hair, while transitioning, you have plenty of styles to choose from. And while you're big chopping, I mean, depending on how long your hair is, you might not have enough hair to do protective styles such as braids or twists.
Mm-hmm. Just a wash and go.
Just a wash and go. Unless you wear wigs or something. But if you don't wear wigs, if you don't have enough hair for braids or twists, it's kind of like, what do? You learn your hair, right?
Exactly.
So another thing for transitioning is wash and go was the no. Like wash and goes with two different textures like that. I guess it depends on your hair type or something like that, but it just didn't. No, so wash and goes is not something that we would do when big chopping.
That's all I do.
Right. And
lastly, with big chopping, you go through several awkward stages. Nobody tells you that there's more than one, but there's several awkward stages. First, you have the awkward stage between you going from a short rounded haircut to a medium length hair where you can do a few styles with. But as you're growing it out, it might not grow out evenly, but you really don't want to cut off your length because you're trying to grow it long. So that took a while for me to kind of get over. I would usually pick up a protective style such as Senegalese twist or just stick with braid outs and twist outs until I reach the end of that awkward stage. Now my awkward stage is now going from medium length to long hair. So now when I could just pull it back in a puff, now it doesn't really stick out. It kind of sticks out and kind of hangs. Or I used to wear my hair in a real high puff, kind of like a front ponytail, but now it doesn't look round. It kind of looks flat, but not flat enough for me to really wear it, you know, full on in my face. So, and I'm sure when my hair gets a little bit longer, there's gonna be another awkward stage I'm gonna figure out then. But you know, nobody tells you these things, but these are things that you figure out as you reach different lengths. It's just all of a sudden certain things just don't work anymore. All of a sudden, washing your hair in one big chunk doesn't work anymore. Now I have to do sections, or you know, things like that. That's how you know you're going from one phase to another.
And one thing that we both big chopping and transitioning, you have to have patience. That is a huge concept to understand. Patience. So as far as transitioning, I wanted to transition for 2 years, but I probably transitioned a year and maybe 8 months, 9 months, because I just couldn't take it anymore. I was just like, okay, I'm ready for these relaxed ends to go. There was a point where I was gonna cut it earlier. Maybe it was gonna be about a year and 2 months, but as soon as I was about to cut it, I was like, okay, never mind. Yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm not ready. But when you're ready, you know it. So that's one thing when you're transitioning. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing it, whether it's big chopping, transitioning, whatever. Whenever you cut your relaxed ends off, let that be your choice, and you'll know when it's time. For instance, when I was going to cut it off earlier, I was just kind of, that was around the time where I was forcing myself to learn my hair, and I was like, you know, thinking I'm ready, and I was like, okay, I'm not ready. But once I got to that 1 year, 8 months or something like that, I wanted to go 2 years, but I knew, I was like, just let it go. I was ready. So don't let anyone pressure you or push you into cutting it, because it's your hair. You'll know when you're ready to cut it.
And also with big chop hair, you have to have patience, because there's not many things you can do other than you know, eating with the right fruits and vegetables or taking certain vitamins. There's nothing you can really do to achieve long hair fast other than sticking to a regimen that works and being patient. You know, there's just no way around it.
just patience.
Ran out of words, but you guys understand what I mean.
Yeah. So I mean, just make sure whether you're transitioning or like I transitioned from not only relaxed hair but color and heat damage. I was upset, like, when can this damage be out of my hair while I was slowly cutting it off? But I just had to remain patient. One thing I would do was just tell myself, okay, until this point, I'm just going to do twisting curls or braiding curls or something like that, and not even think about it. Every time, just, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
That's a great tip. I did the same thing. So say it was December, I might be like, okay, you're not even going to think about the style. You're just going to do twist outs until June. Right. And next thing you know, when June comes, you have a little bit more length and you can do a couple more things.
Yeah, to me, I just did that to keep myself focused and not thinking about the length of my hair, because when you're always thinking about the length of your hair, it seems like it's not growing right. But it would be times where I just totally forget about the length of my hair. Then one day I'm like, oh shoot, my hair is growing, you know? So I mean, if you just want to keep focused on something, just give yourself one style to do and say, hey, that's what I'm going to do for 3 months, and let that be it, and don't even think about the length of your hair, because it will come. As long as you're practicing, good hair practices for length retention, because that's what it's about. Your hair is growing. It's about retaining your hair. So as long as you're retaining it and practicing good hair practices, your hair, you'll see a great difference in your hair. Anything else?
That's about it.
Yeah, so if this video helped you or you enjoyed this video, please please also comment and let us know if you big chop or if you transition or if you're thinking about doing that. Please leave that down below so that other people can see what you went through, what you're going through, or the type of decisions that you're going back and forth between, because a lot of people are here willing to help and answer any questions you have, as well as us. So yeah, please comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.